Believe House, and we're going to have another blast today. Today we're doing Star Review 6. We're going to continue on to this lesson. Pretty tricky problem on the top. Let's get to it. So we're going to go to number 15. Number 15, we're going to find the slopes of these lines. So on the first problem here, the slope would be your 2/3, right? It's y equal mx plus b, and your m is a slope. This is what you did in 8th grade. And before I go any further, let me start recording this, or I will be talking for nothing. Now we have a whiteboard that magically appears. So like I said on 15, the slope is going to be 2/3. Let's go to the next one, okay? So we have 4x minus 3y equal 48. Remember, your slope, if it is in standard, is negative a over b in it. Okay, so if we were to do this, it's ax plus by equals c. It would be negative, fraction bar, 4 over negative 3. The b is negative, so that's going to make our slope positive, right? Two negatives make a positive. Our slope is going to be 4/3. And then on the last one, if we divide by 2, we'll get y equal negative 3. The y-axis goes up and down, but a line through the y-axis is flat, and a flat line has a slope of 0. Real quickly on this one right here, write down 4x minus 3y equals 48. The x-intercept is c over a, which will be 48 over 4, which is going to be 12 in it. Make sure you can get these intercepts. The y-intercept would be c over b, which would be 48 over negative 3, which would be negative 16, right? Make sure you can get your x and y intercepts from standard. Okay? It's not on the formula chart of those tricks. That's Mr. Toops teaching with more power. Let's go to 16. Underline function of. Y is a function of x, right? So y will be our doses and x will be the ounces. So how many doses per ounce is what we're going to get here? Okay, circle these two. So we'll do fraction bar minus minus. We're going to put the y's on top, the x's on bottom. Always try to use these first two. It's a constant rate of change, but some of these tables are messed up, okay? But anyway, let's do the top. We're going to have, let me change colors here, 8 minus 2 over 12 minus 3, and that's going to turn into 6 over 9, which is 2/3. If you punch this in on your Inspire calculator, it will show up. Okay, what would the slope of this table be? It would be 2/3, and it would be 2/3 of a dose per ounce. So 1 ounce would have 2/3 of a dose. Oh, let's continue on. Turn the page and go to 18. This one is really tricky. Okay, so he has 10 stuffed peppers. That's going to be our starting number in it. So I'm just going to put starting number, and notice the stuffed jalapenos will be our y on it. So we're going to have jalapenos on the y-axis. Then it says he can eat 1 pepper every 2.5 minutes. So the slope is going to be y over x. This is going to be really tricky. It's going to be the number of peppers over a minute, and I'm going to abbreviate here. So the number of peppers over 1 minute. Right now he can eat a pepper, 1 pepper, every 2.5 minutes, can he? And that's kind of tricky, isn't it? Let's switch the 2.5 to a fraction. So if you put 2.5 as a decimal, it would be 25 over 10, and that's going to be 5 over 2. 2.5 would be 5 over 2, wouldn't it? So that means he could eat 5 peppers every 2 minutes. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, it should be peppers per minute. It's going to flip in it. So if I have 1 over 2.5, this is going to flip. It's going to be 2 peppers over 5 minutes. So your slope's going to be 2/5. Okay, that's kind of hard to understand. Let's do that again. If I put he could eat 1 pepper every 2.5 minutes. Okay, if I were to make this a fraction, this is kind of hard to understand. I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 10. So multiply the top and the bottom by 10. That gives me 10 over 25, doesn't it? If I do 1 times 10, I get 10. 2.5 times 10 is 25. I got rid of the decimal. That would simplify to 2/5. So my slope on this would be 2/5. So I got to take that 2.5 and make it a fraction, don't I? So technically he could eat 2 peppers every 5 minutes. And this is tricky. And now then his peppers won't go up, they will go down, won't they? So the slope will be negative 2 over 5x plus 10. So I had to switch that 1 over 2.5. I had to get rid of the decimal, and then I had to make it a fraction. That's the first time you had to do that on these problems. That's pretty tricky to do. Now then, the slope of the line is negative 2 over 5, and it represents 2 over 5 peppers per minute. So in 1 minute, I can eat 2/5 of a pepper. Okay? And then in 5 minutes, I would eat 2, wouldn't I? Now then, the y-intercept of the graph, that's kind of hard to do. So watch that video again. You got 1 over 2.5, and you got to switch that to a fraction. That's probably the first time y'all had to do that. Let's go to the y-intercept. It's going to be 10, and that's always the starting amount of peppers, right? Starting amount of peppers. The x-intercept, how much would I take to run out of peppers? So he can eat a pepper every 2.5 minutes. He has 10 peppers, doesn't he? So if you do 2.5 times 10, you would get 25, wouldn't you? So in 25 minutes, he would eat all those peppers. And if I put 25 in for that x, I would end up with 0. Negative 2/5 times 25 is negative 10. Negative 10 plus 10 is 0. So the x-intercept would be 25, and you would write down 25 minutes equals 0 peppers. That's when you would run out. That would be the 0 of the function. That's when you'd be out of peppers. Now then, let's go graph this. So on my y-axis, I would have peppers. And on my x-axis, I would have minutes. And I'm going to start off with 10 peppers, and it's going to take me 25 minutes to eat them all, right? And then I would connect those dots with a line. And then put 0 right here. This would be my domain, and this part right here would be my range, would it? Okay, so I start off with 10 peppers, and I keep going down every 2.5 minutes. I'm going to eat 1 pepper. At 25 minutes, I'll be out. Okay, so let's go down to here and get our domain and range. The domain is going to go from 0 to 10, or to 25, right? Sorry about that. And the range will go from 0 to 10. And the independent variable is your x-axis label. That's going to be minutes. And the dependent variable would be the peppers. So the number of peppers depends on how many minutes you're eating, okay? Pretty tough concept today on that top part there. Okay, you'll get this down. This was pretty hard to get the slope because you had a decimal in there, didn't you? You stop recording. Okay. What a great day. Okay, today, this week, I'm trying to give you some moments of Zen. We could all use some Zen, can't we? So enjoy the moment of Zen after this, 17 seconds of Zen. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.